Hi folks, and welcome to the channel. I know it's been a couple of weeks since my last update, but I've been busy with other things. However, I'm back. Now, as many of you are aware, Benedict XVI retired on the 28th of February, which means that we'll be, or rather should I say the Cardinals will be electing a new Pope in the coming weeks. Now, I've spotted on Twitter and Facebook and various other media sites that, people are talking, will the new Pope promote the use of condoms? Will they allow abortions? And things like that. Now, obviously, I have a little bit of insight knowledge into this arena because I used to be in religious life myself. And whoever the new Pope is going to be is going to pretty much have his hands tied on those issues, because Paul VI wrote an encyclical called Humani Vitae, and he wrote that as an infallible statement. Now, infallible statements in Pope language means basically that they are statements as of the Word of God. They've come directly from God himself, and therefore they cannot be questioned, cannot be criticised, and cannot be judged. So any Pope that writes a statement of infallibility is doing so with his spiritual communication between himself and God. So there begs the question, what can a new Pope do about the use of condoms, women in the church, abortion, and all those modern questions that people ask? Well, unfortunately, Humani Vitae covered a lot of those things as a papal infallible statement by Pope Paul VI. So what that means is that whoever takes over cannot, under any circumstances, countermand what Paul VI wrote, because Paul VI wrote the words of God. Now, if whoever the new Pope is going to be was to write something completely different opposing that view, then that would make God fallible, and the Church can't possibly allow that. Now, it's not because they're being mean-spirited or anything else to that nature. It's because if they were to oppose or change their mind on the use of condoms, for example, or abortion, or women in the church, or celibacy, or anything like that, that means that God himself has changed his mind, and if God changes his mind, that makes him human. And therefore, can you see where I'm coming from? So God can't be perceived as human at all. He's got to be perceived as being the supreme creator. Now, I've explained it in pretty much simple terms, because there's no point going into canon law and all that business, because a lot of you won't understand it. But basically, the new guy is going to be damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. So, in short, all those people out there wanting church blessings to use condoms, to have abortions, and all the other things, it's not going to happen, I'm afraid. And it's not because the new Pope doesn't want it to happen, or the Church doesn't want it to happen. It's simply because Humani Vitae is an infallible statement, and you can't have two opposing infallible statements. And that's as simple as I can make it. Now, a lot of you won't be very happy with that statement, but nonetheless it's the truth. Now, obviously the new guy coming in may find a kind of way around it, pretty much like John Paul II really wanted to help people in the gay community, but because, again, Humani Vitae said that sexual acts between men and indeed women were prohibited, this is going to always be a problem. Now, the Church, I'm sure, will change, and it will change for the better, and it will be more inclusive and more embracing. But, you know, at the end of the day, they can't go against an infallible statement, and that's where it ends. So I'm sorry about that, but, you know, those of you who were on Twitter asking these questions, that's the real answer, because God cannot be seen as being fallible and changing his mind, and, you know, that's as simple as it's going to be.